Good morning or good day, everybody. Um, this is the wrong project. So here we are again, a new, can I say, episode? Not sure. Why is it not showing up, my scene? VS Code. Oh, okay. Here we are again, new episode of developing the Pixel Painter challenge game. So, what have I been doing in the meantime or in between? Well, few big things, few things I've mentioned have changed. Okay, so my grid, I've scaled it to be 1.5 big. I'm actually not sure the difference between grid and between tile map. Maybe I should switch it around. The grid can be 111, the tile map can be 1.5. What does that do? That seems to do the exact same thing. Okay, let's just leave it at the tile map. So that means I have to. Oh no, there's no change then. I was actually looking at the camera. It seems to be also a bit weird, but maybe that's only because of the depth it tries to generate for it. It does say it's at 111. Anyway, so I've changed the grid, made the cubes a bit bigger, or the blocks a bit bigger. I have changed my script so my X and Y are separate, although still the same size. I've updated my sprites, as you can see here. Now I just have one single border, I have one single fill. I've updated them as well. They are now only 64 pixels big instead of 256, because that was a bit unrealistic. There was no need for them to be that big. So that's done. So they're also now just part of one tile map, tile palette, sorry, instead of having a separate one. So this is my script. For the rest, I haven't really changed anything, but so if you run it now, you will see that it looks a bit clearer. You can see, I mean, this is all just white, and you can see the borders. You can clearly see the borders. Maybe still not the best. I mean, you can also see that, well, the screen is pretty much filling the whole game. This is a Google Pixel 5. I don't know how to adjust the size to the screen. That's something I have to look into, because of course you don't want to have your smallest screen determining your thing. Like if people want to play it on a tablet, then the blocks should become bigger. There is no reason why the blocks should only fill, part of your size, part of your game. So yeah, but those are all things I still have to look into. Okay. So anyway, so it is clearer. It's still not the best. I mean, I can still definitely see some uh, gaps or overlap or whatever where it's not really perfect. And I actually should look up how much pixels it actually typically takes for these kind of things. Oh, I can also say cell size. Maybe I should leave the scale at 1 and increase the cell size. Oh, that's funky. Oh, that's really funky. Simulator, go back to simulator, not Samsung Galaxy Notes, but the Pixel 5. Okay, so apparently this size here. Oh no, that also makes it bigger now. 1.5, 1.5. if I would do, for instance, like this, then I actually have my border between a bit. That could work. And to see what actually is clearest. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as is. These are small details that I'm pretty sure I can fix later. Because the thing also is, like, if you really paint it, then you probably want to have a very nice consecutive thing. You don't really want to have the borders in between. Just to make it look nice, you know, you have a final, really painting. So, maybe I have to reduce my pixels even more. Maybe it's also doing scaling on this one because they're 64 and they're like, well, 64, I have to scale it down because it doesn't really fit in this section. That's why I actually have to kind of look up how big actually, how does that mean? I mean, like, how big is it? How big does my sprite needs to be? Maybe 32, maybe 16, who knows? But okay. So what's the plan for the day? I did not clean up my code. I also did not install formatter because I had some issues finding a formatter apparently. So yeah, but that's okay. So today, the goal for today is to more do, if I click and hold, that I actually see a bit. So I want to do some, how to say it, some alpha channels, some highlighting. That's what I want to do. As I said, I did not really clean my code because I'm going to have to change all of these things anyway. That's okay. And what I do want to do is, because now you have here the 10 and whatever, I'm going to put these as well in a constant. And I call this the border. Or set layer border. Border set. I'm going to put them at 5. Technically, there's actually no reason why we would put it 5. The set layer of the fill equals 0, and then I have set layer of the highlight. I'm going to put that at -1. And then I can here replace it. Set layer border. This is the set layer fill. Hey, voila, that should do the trick. I definitely have to clear the code, I have to rename stuff, but that's okay. And so update, if I do here, what am I supposed to do? If input get mouse button down 0, this means you've clicked somewhere. If is volatile position, okay, this is volatile position, then I do the coloring start position. I click it down, coloring start position. I actually think this doesn't even work. How can this even work, this script? If input get mouse button down 0, because you have to click and hold. Yes, okay, that's the idea. You have to click and hold. Oh my god. You know what I think I should also do? I should probably, well, I should, well, not a border color because the border doesn't really matter too much, but the fill one will matter. But for the time being, I'm just gonna do it a bit nasty. I'm always gonna read it again. Fill, and then I set tile map dot set tile at the position, and then the cell pos. Is the cell pos a vector 3 int? Yes. But what actually is the cell pos? Because that probably is the 0 layer and not a highlight layer. But yeah, that will be problematic if you actually have a color and you want to paint over it. That's okay. And I'm going to fill it with fill. And I probably have to Would I have to unlock the flags again? But just to be sure, I'm gonna print them. I mean, if I don't have to unlock them, I don't have to unlock them. Tau map.get tau flags. Well, I will have to do that because I'm gonna put them in a different Z layer. So set tau flags on Selpos. Tau flags none, yes. And then I do tau map.set color. Where is my color? It was color black that I think I use, yes. I can't use color black, I can't use anything. Let's go for yellow for a second. Can I edit the color? I know I had a color with RGB to HSV, but I assume that it just takes, yeah. Does it take output behavior? That's really annoying. Outfloat. No, okay. Well, I would have to take the color that exists anyway. And so what can I do? I can say a color is a color. I thought a color was okay. It simply takes three bytes: red, green, blue. Yes, alpha. Okay, so then what I'll do is I'll take the color yellow. And hopefully I can access it, but I'm not sure if I can. Source.r. G. B. And my alpha becomes 0.5. And then instead of using yellow, I said color. And actually, this source color should move up because this will be for the whole thingy. But that's okay. For now, let's check. Does my highlighting work a bit? Probably yes and no. It probably works, but it probably doesn't work as I want it to work. In that sense that it will just overwrite the actual color that was there. Screen position on the view. I'm not sure what that even means. But it's happening all the time. Then I'm not gonna just switch skip to key. There is my yellow. Problem is now if I do this, then it just completely overwrites it. It's also very, very ugly, dark yellow. Maybe it's because it's overwriting or being in front of the white. What if I do a 3? So, yeah. I think I should go for a lighter color. Anyway, you can see X, Y, Z. My Z is minus 0. So what should I do instead of using a cell position? I should do here I should do a vector 3 int again. High, light position. Can I not do something more fancy? Can I not do cell pos? I have X, Y, Z magnitude. Can I update my? Well, I don't want to update my Z. Scale, serialize. Doesn't seem like it. Quickly looking up. Back. Oh no, that's just static properties. Magnitude equals set Nah, that's not good. Distance, floor, scale. Nope. Okay, so I think this is really best. Just making a new one with this layer highlight. This then becomes my vector 3 in highlight position. Highlight one word or two words? Good question. Highlight. I think highlight's one word, so highlight should be small. Otherwise, I should also split it in here actually. So, okay. So I click, doesn't do shit. How come it doesn't do anything? At what position is my camera set up? My main camera has a Z of -10. So I should see it. It's the same X and Y. My Z is just different. Why is this the case? You would think maybe it's because it's all white. Maybe it's problematic because I'm trying to put in front because it's Z of -1. Anyway, this can go away. I did change two things at the same time, which you should never do. If you're trying to debug something, you should always change just one thing. Well, of course, you can debug with like breakpoints and other things, but in this case, I don't understand. So it's a library I'm using, and I have to figure out how things work. Then it's always best to just do one thing. Okay, so it's definitely my location, which is what I was expecting to be the problem. So I think I actually didn't change two things at the same time. I think I had time in between. So, maybe the negative things don't work because my tile map is at 1, is at 0. But then it's interesting how the other things work. If this works, now of course if I do it again, I just completely overwrite it, which is, yeah, I want to see the original color, I guess. In case I change my mind, I want to see what I'm actually doing. So maybe I should put this at 5, should put this at 4, and then I can put this at 0. Or I can put this at 5, and I can put this at 10. I have no idea why I'm using multiples of 5. I could just do 1, 2, and whatever. But hey, so now I'm gonna draw. I have to do this here. So high position. I'm gonna draw my things which are a bit further away, which is okay. No problem at all. Okay, my sketch is updating. My click completely doesn't work anymore. Is that because it doesn't realize it where it's clicking? Because I'm always clicking at 0. Ah. So in that case, my thingy actually has to be at 0. Annoying. Annoying. Yeah, see, I'm clicking always at 0. And that's not valid, because of course there is no cell in there. Because it doesn't have a tile in there. Okay, so this was a bad idea. So this has to become 0. This becomes 1. And this then I guess has to become -1, but then that doesn't work. It doesn't work because of my tile map. What if I do it the other way around? What if I put my highlight, so I have my border, which can be at 1, but I'm going to keep it at 2 because otherwise it's going to overlap. I put it at 1. So my fill actually stays on the front. I have my highlight at 1, and then I have my border. This of course means that my cell will overlap or will block out my highlight. So I'm pretty sure you're not going to see anything, but I'm thinking maybe I can just, I didn't draw it properly now. Maybe I'm thinking I can use the highlight, or maybe I can use the cell as a bit of a highlighting. So what do? I set a highlight position in the Z layer. Yes, I set everything. I set a color. This color does not actually have to be alpha. Instead, what I can do, I can say tile map dot set color of the cell pos, and I guess I have to get the cell, which is a bit annoying because I don't have it. I can get it, but yeah, for the sake of testing, I'm gonna make it dirty. Get tile at cell pos dot color. Tile base. Oh no, it's tile map get. Maybe I can just save the time get color. Of course. I do get color at the cell position. This is the yeah, get cell position, yes. And then I have to dot. I'm actually thinking, can this is even more ugly, yeah, but can I just say tile map dot get color cell? So I don't have to create a new object actually. Dot set not alpha equals 0.5f. Cannot modify the return value because it's not a variable. Current color equals. This doesn't make any sense. So why can I not do it in one go? The get color definitely returns an object. Why can I not change it and say dot a? Can I implicitly go from? Okay, this makes sense. Note yes, equals 0.5f. Cannot modify the return value of because it's not a variable. Weird. I don't know why this would be a problem. Can return value because of the variable. Let's say again. Cannot find the return value of because it's not a variable. Let's see, we're learning C#. That's because point is a value type struct. Because of this, when you access the origin property, you're accessing a copy of the value held by the class. Not the value itself, you would have a reference type class if you set the export in the property on the copy. Okay, so this probably is not going to work because color is a value class. Can't really click on it, so I don't know, but it's annoying. I can't go through to color. It's weird because in here I could. So color is, it's a struct. Okay, so it's a struct. So what they are saying is that this, what I'm doing here, probably also won't work for the sake or simple reason that you're modifying a copy and not the original object, because the return, what it returns is not a variable, it returns a copy of that variable. And apparently that's problematic. Well, problematic makes sense. Huh? See, yes, okay. But if I do tile map dot set color, and I say current color, add so also of course, then hopefully now it's good, and we can simply move on. Okay, but that's a really weird alpha. The alpha doesn't actually make it transparent. Or it does, but does my highlight work? Doesn't seem like it, huh? Oh, excuse me? Never mind. So maybe actually I was able to write at the layer in front of it, and I don't have to do any of this. In that case, I can put my highlight layer back at -1, put this back at 1, and then I can make this a 0.5. Would be nice if Unity would give a bit more information. But hey, can't ask too much, I guess. And then of course this I don't have to convert. Ah, yes. So this I don't need at all. I'm just setting the color on the highlighting, which does make my life much easier, which is good. This has my source color. I do like this, and I do like this, and then I can do like this, and ho ho, you can see, but it's not very clear, is it? Maybe I have to. Huh? Maybe I was. What? Now I'm confused again. Did my highlighting maybe it didn't get updated on the levels? No, and maybe my guess about the highlighting actually was correct. I'm actually also not sure that the alpha layer, the highlighting is actually a good idea. So this works. That's because I make the thingy itself alpha. But you can clearly see the highlighting. So the highlighting is there at -1. How come I can't see it? It should be there. -1 should be in front of 0. Why do I need to make the 0 layer? Unless of course it does work differently. Why do I make this 5? So it's even behind the border. At least if I understand my border and everything correctly. I don't understand why I have to change my regular color to have alpha as well. Ah, this is brighter. What happens if I do this now? Then again, doesn't make any sense. Huh? Why would it be brighter? If I let go, it sets the color. Wait. There is this, huh? I click, I let go. Why does this become, let's say, yellowish? Maybe my Z layer is different. Maybe a Z layer, positive Z layer is towards me. How does that make sense? Because my camera is at minus. Because I mean, the only thing I can think of why this currently works is because definitely Z layer, the highlight layer, which which is what I want, but it's in front of it, and that's why this is in black. But this is like a very ugly yellow, which would be the same if I click here now. You can see it's yellow, but actually it was black because I never clean up this level. Weird. So I have to make it positive means in front. Okay, then I guess I can't seem to do negative layers. Oh well, negative layers maybe means in the back. So I first have my fill, then I do my border on top of it, and then I do my highlighting layer. Does that make sense? Well, definitely. What do I make this out of -0? The border. Because the border doesn't overlap, so border shouldn't really care. But then again, if set means, yeah, see, this border is fine, I think. Yeah. So this definitely means now that the border is behind of it, which doesn't really matter. I'm gonna just want to. Means the base one is the fill, then you have the border, which is actually also weird. Huh? Fill, border, highlight. No, I'm gonna do -1. I'm gonna do -1, 0, and 1. Because I mean, like if it works, it works. So it's first the border, then you have the fill color, and then you have your highlight. Okay, and so this works. But if I let go, I actually should remove the highlight. But I should do that all the time, so I have to go here, clear highlights. This should become a method. For the time being, I only have I'm going to say this highlight vector int cell position. Actually, not cell position, but it's color in start position. That's the only one I do at the moment. And then I say tile map dot remove tile. What can I do with tile? Add tile, get tile, has tile, set tile, swap tile, refresh tile, clear all tiles, contains tile. It doesn't seem to have a clear tile. So again, quickly looking up API tile map. What do we have? We have a clear all tiles, clears all tiles and replace in the tile. Now that's definitely not what we want. I have delete cells, remove cells. What is the difference between a cell and a tile? Oh, you also have a flood fill. Oh, that actually would be nice. Oh, flood fill, that's what we're gonna use, no? Flood fill. Get color. Insert cells. Swap tile. Do I have something to remove? I only have delete cells, the flags, and destroy the whole game object. I have delete cells. Yeah, no. I don't know what a cell versus tile is. file map cell versus file in Unity, of course. Okay, no. Can't really seem to find it. But anyway, and then I'm going to do dot. I'm going to try set tile highlight post null. Voila. I'm pretty sure that will just clear it as well. Vector 3 int does not contain a definition of x and no accessor. Line 87. Well, I mean, of course, because I made it null already. That's a bit stupid. This is probably going to be better. Ah, yes, and it could be undefined. Ah, if is valid. Of course, I have to clear lines. Only if coding starting point has value. There's a whole nullable thingy in Unity, not in Unity, but in C#, which I still don't, which I still find weird. Because I mean, can I? That's a weird thing. I can do value, has value, gets value, default, but where are my others? Where am I? Do if has value, or if has value. Uh, That's what I like about Java. Java is a pretty well, or is a pretty good optional system. Still not perfect. Still methods that I feel like are kind of missing. But already pretty good. I haven't seen many languages that has a better optional system. I mean, I guess, of course, you have the languages where it's just built in JavaScript with its Elvish and Elvis operator and stuff, and voila, it works. So, I mean, like those kind of things, yeah, they work even better, I guess. Where you can say, like, well, this is either null or it's thingy, and then you have to use as a special. A special question or dot operator. I think there's a coalescence action, whatever. So, I mean, I guess that works even better. But with optionals, you can also really do a lot because those are things. I'm thinking other things you can do with optionals that you cannot do with JavaScript and those operators. Well, it probably can. I'm sorry, I'm being sidetracked now, but I mean, like, if you have an optional string, whatever, x, in JavaScript it would be like x equals string or, well, let's say null. So the difference is in Java, for instance, you would do x dot if present, and then you do your thing whatever you have to do. You can, of course, you also have your x. This is just one example because you can do a lot of things with optionals. You can do x or else for a default function and the or else. Actually, I should put them together. So if you, for instance, have x dot or else get or x dot or else default. I mean, like this is something you definitely do with the Elvis operator. And when you say x, and then here you have default. But for instance, the x if present is a function you execute if x is present, only if it's present. That's something I find more difficult to choose because you can't do well, you can do this. Well, actually, typically it would be like this then, I guess. X and N. And then here you have your F, X. Or you have your F. Which is, of course, if X is present, then, well, then you also have a function here which takes X. So I guess it's kind of the same. Are there other, is there something else I can really think of what you can't do with this kind of stuff? The annoying thing that I have with this kind of expressions, and I never really write them like this, for the sake of clarity, because if X is a string, but it's an empty string, then it will also like return to false, so it won't do it, which is not what I want, because an empty string might be a perfectly valid thing. So I do X if it's not null, and then it becomes more difficult, because here as well I can do X or a default. But if X is an empty string, then this will be false. If it's a number, then if you have 0, then it'll also be false, and whatever, those kind of things. So you actually have to do like this, or undefined. At least I think that's also how this operator works. Yes, the X question mark dot, on the other hand, that one I actually think works perfectly and works only on null or undefined. I don't think that one, if you have an empty string, will also be triggered. Okay, could be wrong. So anyway, we have highlighting, which goes away if you do it now. That's good. We have highlighting on colored objects, which honestly is not really that clear. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the highlighting. Maybe I shouldn't. Should I? Is there really a case where you want to see the color between? I mean, if you think of it, this is clear, but the color behind it, that's not going to be clear. Now it's because it's black, but yeah, you wouldn't guess that this will be black behind it. If it's green, it becomes like a whole different shade of color because of the alpha layer. So that doesn't really seem to work either. So maybe no alpha. Maybe just make it completely the color that's being specified. Annoying. Anyway, what I also need to do is I have to actually, instead of just saying is volatile position, I have to make a function. Private bool is straight line, which is weird because I guess a line is always straight. Start and end. Probably I should rename it a bit. If my thingy already thingy does it. But so that would really be a horizontal or vertical line, which you can consider a straight line. The thing is, I also want to do 45 degrees. So, yeah, well, yeah. So here you say if your mouse is down, you leave it done, and then I think if the mouse is still down, I have to do if input dot mouse position dot, wait, how is it again? Get mouse button up returns true during the frame the user releases. Okay, but now there was something else I could do. Input dot mouse get mouse button. No? Yes, get mouse button. That returns true if returns true whenever the given mouse button is held down. Yes. Okay, the question is, will this conflict with this? It probably will. No? But that doesn't really matter too much, because all I need to know is I have to get my position, which is here. If what happens if I go out of bounds? And I guess the highlighting should be gone. to do if cursor out of bounds clear highlight. Maybe not. Maybe we should just keep it as is. Okay. So, but if it's a valid position, then actually what I want to do is highlight up to here from the start. And actually that makes me think connection to server is erroring, shutting down server, excuse me. Damn Codemium. Makes me think again about the thing I said, like, do I really only want to go work in straight lines? Or do I want to do step, click, 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 and then click to close the shape? Because now I can do straight lines by holding it down, and I can probably do rectangles by doing like tang, tang, tang. But if I do click, and then click, and click, I can do like click, 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 click. I can make nicer shapes. I can't do that. That will make the game too easy because I can do click, 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 click. You can make a whole path of just thingies and just color in whatever needs to be done. You would, of course, always have to go back to your starting position, but I don't think that would be too difficult. I mean, like, if you want to do a triangle, there, you have a triangle. If you want to do something else, tick, 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 tick. Okay, now you have to find a way back. But yeah, you can just do tick, 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 and then the next time you can do tick, 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 tick with another color. So I mean, like that would be, well, of course, this would also fill then, because it would fill the whole shape. If you wouldn't want these to be filled, yeah, then you can just close this up and yeah, I think the click the separate shape making is probably going to be too easy. I mean, this is not a very good representation of what you actually would want to do. Maybe I have to find a better shape. Maybe that's something I have to start working on next time. But we should really finish this first. Because I mean, like, just imagine like you want to color this. I mean, like all of this has to be blue. So what I would do, I would definitely do like all of this blue. Boom. So this would be blue. And then you're like, well, the shape in the middle is a thingy. Well, probably technically what you actually do is like you would color this red. No, you can't do that. So I would do this blue. Then you have too much blue, but that's okay. Then you can, well, I mean, like that's my point, eh? Like ting, 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 ting. This I can do like this, green. Then all of this is green, and I can do up, 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 red. Then all of this is red. And then you just have this part here that you just do up one color, and that's yellow. And that's how you would make all of them of this color without any challenge. Whereas this actually would be a very challenging, a really challenging color. Let me see. Can I find some pixel art as an example? The advantage, of course, is that it does allow me to make much more complex things without making the game almost impossible. Not everything fits very nicely in a rectangle. So maybe I should just do it. Let's say I go from here to the next point where I click, and you just have to line up on the next one. The only thing is that and then I can highlight as I go without holding my mouse button. And then you can see here, it won't connect because this one will not highlight. And then actually, if you connect to your closing thing, it should highlight everything. Yes, 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 yes. That's a much better system. Okay, but so I have to highlight. I'm actually gonna just, you know what? I'm gonna make a method out of it. Private void highlight. I'm probably gonna do something like this. Set tile, highlight position, because yeah, of course this will go away. Color yellow. Probably you want to pass in the color here as well. And the fill, well, of course, the fill is actually something that we should not always load, but for now I'm just going to do it as is. So then I can swap this entire part with just highlight. So pause. Highlight. So it's highlight. Oops. Highlight. Okay, so this should work, and then yeah, this should also become clear. Highlight. Probably want to have this spread out as well, although yeah, what I probably want to do is I want to have a method saying to highlight position or something, to highlight cell or something. When I take this one and I just take this out, so I have to reduce, so I can reduce this. Then I can actually the Z layer highlight, I can even just put it in the method. That's fine. Yep. Okay, so this is a clear highlight. Clear pos was clear pos. Why is that needed? Coloring start here. Because if I start here, I click here, then it all still works. Wait. Maybe just reloading my script. Yes, okay, I definitely did not crash the application. Okay, this does nothing, that's good. Okay, this also doesn't do anything, it's highlighting and then it doesn't do anything. Perfect so far. So is validized position, and what do I say? Highlight cell position. So this could be a bit funky. Because now if I do this is not how it should be, but that's how it works right now. And if I let go, and why is that? Because I'm highlighting all of these, but actually I should remove and erase the previous highlights as well. That's well, I mean, technically I should only highlight when I'm on a straight line, and if I get off my line, then I should remove them. I'm thinking, how am I going to do that? I probably want to keep track of this point so that I know, okay, I had a highlight to here, and then if I move, I can easily say, okay, well, just remove this highlight, that row, and then I go here, and then I say like, well, you don't have to do anything, except for, yeah, of course, the starting is still has to be highlight, I guess. Okay, but so the highlighting works on the pixels, which is good. But so I think I've come to the conclusion that I do definitely want to change the system. I do want to have a clicking system. So I'm not going to do where I have to keep the mouse button down. No, instead I'm going to do clicks. So it's only up on that manner. So I click. If I click outside, then of course to cancel. If I click on here again, because that's the only thing to actually cancel it. Huh? Clicking outside of the map, because I can, if I click here, if I click again on it, then I have a single tile. Should I allow single tiles? I can also say if you click on it, you actually just cancel it. And then you always have to paint at least 2 tiles. You have to click, click, click. Wait, click. Click, click, click. Yes. Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna do it like that. If I click on the same cell, I'm just gonna cancel it. If I just to click at one spot, I say like, no, you can't just color in single cells. But what if you sometimes you have to color in single cells, I guess. Do you? What if there is one pixel? Or if you only have to do one pixel? That's annoying. Well, I mean that's not really annoying. You can always do is you can if you want to paint a single pixel. That's the trick of the game. You have to paint 3 pixels or 2 pixels. No, you can't do 2 pixels. You have to paint 3 pixels and then you can paint 2 pixels the other color again. There's always a way out. So if you end up in a position where you say like, oh damn, I still have to color 1 pixel, you're like, then either you have to color your 1 pixel, 4 pixels, you can color a whole region, and then you have to actually paint the other region again in the other color. Yeah, okay, so 1 pixel painting is not allowed. Okay, so that's I'm gonna write it down for next session. Change the painting mechanism. I said click on pixels to create a shape. Note only straight and horizontal, vertical and diagonal lines are allowed. Then I said close the shape. Let's paint it by clicking on the start pixel. Note single pixel painting is not possible and simply clears it. Okay, so that's the goal. That's where we're going to go to, and I think that's something we're going to start working on next week. Okay, but I'm very happy that we've discovered or we've worked on the highlighting, because then I can actually start painting with my highlight color. The only thing is then if I let go, well, I can let go outside, and then my original pixel swaps back to white, because that's the only one that actually swaps back. Alternatively, instead of just saying like, okay, I want to have a straight line, because that actually could be problematic as well, no? If I do a straight line and I keep track of this pixel, and so I click, and I click, well, if I click back on this pixel, it should remove it. But I can only remove it if it's the last pixel. Note, you can only remove the last point by clicking on it. And the reason for that is to avoid illegal shapes. If I would click here and I would click here, which is perfectly fine, and then I would click here and I say like, oh, now I want to remove this pixel again, so I click here again. Yeah, then this shape is invalid because it's not a diagonal, it's not thingy, so it would not be allowed. So you can only click here first and then you have to go click here. So if you have to undo it, that's a bit annoying, but we'll see how that goes. So click, 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 and then I would do click, and then I would have dang, 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 dang. All of these colors. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. You can only remove the last point by clicking on it. You can remove the last point, and then. Okay, so that's and that's why if you click on this one, you actually click it, you remove it because it's the last point. So anyway, I was saying like with the highlighting, if I click here and I click here, then I can keep track of this pixel. But if I then click here, what's actually going to be highlighted? This and this, I guess. So you can see which shape you've made so far, because the order does matter. Because if I would do this, and then this, and then this, then I have this shape. But if I do this, this, and this, then I actually have this shape. So my next pixel will be important. That's the thing. Because if I would do this, this, and this, then, and then this, what then? Oh, okay. Note only, what that's convex. I think it's called convex. A convex function. Yes, a convex function. Yes, that's what it should be. When is a real valued function is called the line segments between any two similar points in the graph. This function lies above the graph between the 2 points. Yes. So that's something I will have to do as well, because if I do this, this, and then I do this, then that's not allowed. That's an error. Then, yeah, this one will not snap because it goes between these lines already, which actually might become mathematically heavy. That's what I have to see. If I do this, this, and this, of course, if I do it in this order, then this is perfectly fine because you create a square. This, and this is not perfectly fine. And in some cases, will even cause issues because if I do this, for example, like if I do this, and then here, then that's actually not valid because this is not diagonal. If I do this, and this is valid because it is diagonal. Because you have a straight line here next to it. And then I can go back up. So the order does matter. Order is important. So that's why I think I can't highlight everything because that would be possible because sometimes the last one is not. I mean, if you have an invalid shape at the moment, so this would be valid. This would be an invalid shape because you can't close it. So how am I going to paint it? I can't paint it. I can only paint the lines. So I'm going to paint the lines between the points. And then if you click on it, I just have to compare it with the previous point because I will have skipped the points, skip previous points, and just remove the highlight there. Simple. That's how I remove the highlight. Because now I'm actually clicking to highlight. Yeah, okay. So everything seems to be going to work fine. It will be fine. Okay, but that's something we will work on next week, or maybe I will do it a bit off camera to already get a couple of things ready. I mean, like same here, like what I've done with the highlights. Ah, yes, this is C sharp. C sharp does not like methods with a lower case. Okay, but that's yeah. So maybe I will work on it a bit off camera, so I can already have the highlighting mechanism a bit up and running, and then I will go through the code first. I will see if I have time, because as soon as we have this, then we actually are good to go, and then, well, and then what? Then the game is almost complete, I guess. Okay, but good, making lots of progress. Looking forward to it, and I will see you guys next week then. Bye.